Happy New Year. Have you made your New Year's resolutions? Because as a residential service company, if you want to improve, you need to start working on you, and right now is the time to do it. Now, this video is brought to you by Ferguson, and I want to say thanks to the people at Ferguson for allowing me the opportunity to do this. We signed up with Ferguson because of their customer service, and that has been the biggest thing that's kept us with them, but we love what they do for plumbers and the plumbing community. So again, thank you to Ferguson. Now, I just mentioned customer service about Ferguson, but that's really number one. What New Year's resolution do you have? And I'm going to give you my top 7, but number 1 is customer service. What are you doing for your customers? Are you literally doing everything that you can? Because there's certain questions that you may want to ask yourself either after you've received a call or after your plumbers have gone out on the job. And I say plumbers, but any residential service company can follow these exact same things. So for customer service, are you showing compassion? Do you understand and do you convey to your customer that you're compassionate about what you do, that you care about what you do? Do you understand the struggle that they're going through? Have you been there before? Have you seen it before? The other one, and this is crazy, but unconditional love. Do you love your customers? I heard a speaker speak one time to a new group of real estate agents, and he told them, if you fall in love with your customers, you will never treat them wrong. I love that. A true desire of care. And I know I mentioned that a while ago, but do you really show your customers how much you care? Because I promise you, they don't care how much you know till they know how much you care. Have and maintain great energy. Whether it is your CSR or your plumber on the job, do they literally show up energetic, ready to go? Or do they show up and look sloppy and half-hearted, and do they just really not care? Are they hung over from the night before? What kind of energy does your company show? Are they present when they're there? Are they focused on the job? Are they thinking about what are they going to do this coming weekend? Or what did they do this last weekend? Understand things like that. But for customer service, you've got to be present and focused every time you walk in. Joyful and curiosity. Are they happy to be there? Are they curious about the customer, building a relationship? Do they communicate with them and do things like that? The last part of customer service, what is their skill level? Or is their skill level enough that when they walk in, they're doing the right thing and taking care of their customer? Okay, so number 2, and I know I gave you a long list there, number 1 for customer service, but to me, those are things you need to look at. Number 2 is your budget. What is your budget and what is your projection for this year? Do you have numbers that you want to hit? Do you know how you want to hit them? Some companies don't know till December 31st whether they have made money. If you put things together right and you stick within a budget, you only spend according to that budget, you're going to do better. If you're literally just jumping and buying and reacting every time a tool breaks or something like that, you're going to have problems. Put a budget together, make it work, and stick with it. So literally each week, do you know where your money's coming in, where it's going out, and are you making a profit? Number 3, and this is one a lot of people mess up. What is your price structure? Are you doing straightforward pricing, flat rate pricing, whatever you call it? What is your number and how did you set that number? If you just set your number based on what the company down the street is doing, you don't know if their numbers are right or not. You don't know if they are slowly going out of business, but on the other hand, you also don't know if you are either. You've got to know your numbers internally. What does it cost you to do business? What's it cost you for your plumbers, your materials, your rent, your insurance, your taxes? What does all that cost? Because if your numbers aren't right, you're just slowly going out of business. Number 4, and this is a big one, hire the right people. I got asked one time why I use Ferguson. And to be honest, I use Ferguson because of their salespeople. They treat me like I am the only customer they have. And when you get treated like that, you remember it, and that's who you want to call back. People that are going to take care of you. This is really good that this all ties together here. Hiring the right person for a residential service company is huge. We've got testing, we've got steps and procedure that we go through because we hire for culture. We want the right person in the right seat, in the right bus, going the right direction every time we send somebody out. Number 5, and I touched on this a while ago under budget, but you've got to plan on making a profit. If you're not planning on it, and if you're not checking every job, you have no idea. So my thing is, what are your KPIs? What numbers do you need to hit all the time in order to make a profit? Does your company have to run so much a day? Does it have to do so much a week or so much a month? You know it does, but do you know what those numbers are? Have you looked at it? What do you have to do in revenue just to cover your rent, your vehicles, your insurance, things like that? Have you looked at all that? Because if you're not planning on making a profit, chances are you probably aren't going to. Number 6, and this is a big one. This is why I love what I do on social media. Make the phone ring. The big thing is, if you walk into a company and you start it up and you think, all I've got to do is make my phone ring, I'm going to make money. That's not always true. If you're not doing things right, if you don't become operationally excellent, what if you're losing money every time you send a plumber out? What if you're not charging enough? What if you're not doing things right? Because if you're not, here's what happens every time that phone rings and you book the call, you're losing money. If you don't look at things right systematically and have systems and processes in place to double check it, because if it doesn't get measured, it really doesn't matter. Making the phone ring is extremely important. You've got to make sure that you're doing things right every time you send somebody out to one of your customers' houses. And number 7, this is one of my favorites, and this is the last one. This may be the biggest one. Are you following up with your customers? When your plumber leaves, when your electrician leaves, when whatever service you're in, when your technician leaves, if you're a one-man truck, when you leave, is somebody following up? Maybe you call back and pretend to be somebody else.
Hey, this is Fred. Roger was just out there. I've got a couple of questions for you. Did Roger wear floor savers? Do you remember what color they were? Did Roger do what you expected him to do? Did Roger clean up when he left?
If you're not talking to your customers and you're not finding out, number 1, are they happy? And number 2, did they do everything they were supposed to do? You need to know things like this. And your customers, if they're not telling you, they are telling someone else, especially with social media the way it is today. Once again, thank you so much to Ferguson for giving me the chance to do what I do and for sponsoring our channel. The neat thing about it is we signed up with Ferguson because we believe they are doing the things they're supposed to do to help the plumbing community. That makes all our lives better. If you've been in business before, do me a favor, leave a comment down below and let me know which one of these things do you think is the most important. Also leave a comment below. If you're just starting up a company, let me know what you think is the most important thing here for your New Year's resolutions. Anyway, do me a favor, have an amazing year. I hope it is better than this last one. I'm Roger Wakefield, Lead AP, the expert plumber. I'll see you in the next video if you don't get flushed. How's that?